Swiggity swag, what's in the bag? Jay here bringing you guys my review of Pokemon Victory Fire because we have completed the Let's Play here on the channel for the Victory Fire, and as you guys do know, or you might not know, I typically do reviews on ROM hacks that I play on the channel, and I just give you guys the good, the bad, and my overall opinion on the ROM hack and whatever. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do, hit the like button down below to show your support, and also leave in the comment section below, have you played Victory Fire already? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Why do you like it? Why do you not like it? And if you haven't played Victory Fire, are you going to try out Victory Fire, or are you just going to, you know, play some other game or whatever? But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below, and let's just go ahead and jump into this review and stuff and things and everything. And yeah, awkward. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the review. So starting off with the things that I like about the game, one thing I like about the game is that it has the physical special split. And if you guys didn't already know, in Gen 3 there is no physical special split. So when it comes down to what moves are physical and what moves are special, it depends on the type of the move. For instance, in later games like X and Y, you know, Diamond Pearl, things like that, Fire Punch is a physical move. But in games like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, you know, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Punch will be considered a special move. But in this game, since there's a physical special split, Fire Punch is a physical move, because in 3rd gen, you know, like I said, whatever it's physical or special depending on what type it is. So let's see, fire, water, grass, electric, dark, psychic, and dragon, and there might, or in ice. Did I say ice? I'm not even sure if I said ice. Those moves are special. Those are special types. And then every other move would be physical, like normal moves, rock, ground, steel, bug, poison, ghost. You know, those are all physical. And this game had a physical special split. So moves like Razor Leaf that would normally be special are physical. Moves like let's see, Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade in Gen 3 was considered a special move, but in this game, because there's a physical special split, it's considered a physical move. And I definitely enjoyed that, because a lot of people playing Pokemon nowadays are so used to the physical special split that if they went back and played you know, Ruby and Sapphire or something like that, they would have a hard time playing through the game, because they'll be teaching their Pokemon all these moves, but you know, there's no physical special split. So like, you know, they're gonna be like, oh man, my Blaziken has Blaze Kick but it does no damage. It's like, because Blaze Kick would be a special move in, you know, Ruby and Sapphire, you know, unfortunately. But in this game, Blaze Kick will be a physical move. So you know, that's why I definitely, that's why I like the physical special split in this game, just because it definitely helps out current Pokemon players, and you know, that's just how Pokemon is now, and it just makes the game a little bit easier. So that's why I like it. Another thing I like about this game is the story. So basically, you're a trainer, you leave home, you start traveling, you have your rivals, which you have a lot of rivals in this game, which is something I typically dislike about the game, but I'll go into that a little bit later if I even remember. I mean, I have a list right here, but I mean, I didn't write rivals on the list. So let me go ahead and put rivals on the list right in here. So okay, so I put rivals on the list. Anyways, when it comes to the story about the game, when it comes to the story of the game, you're a trainer, you leave home, you fight Team Mirage. Team Mirage is trying to wipe out humanity using Zekrom and Kyurem or Restram, things like that. And you know, it's just your typical story, and I definitely enjoyed the story. The story made sense as I went along, and you know, you had your little comedic characters being Bells and Carls, who's basically kind of like Jesse and James from Team Rocket. So you know, you had them, you had some, you know, people who used to be good, they turned evil. You just have all these bad characters and stuff, and you know, the evil team trying to take over the region, and I definitely enjoyed the story. And also there was the mention of the Threat 4, and it's like I beat the game and I was like, wait, so what happened to the Threat 4? And there's after game in this game, which is another thing I like about the game. This game actually has an after game where the story continues and you actually deal with the Threat 4 and, you know, Giratina and stuff like that. And you know, I always like it when there's an actual after game and there's like actual plot and story, and it's like, it's not, you know, for nothing, you know, because it wraps up the rest of the game. And I definitely enjoyed that about the game as well. Another thing I liked about the game is that we had access to Gen 4, 5, and 6 Pokemon. Now, when I say Gen 6 Pokemon, I mean Megas, because we had Mega Charizard, we had Mega Venusaur, we had Mega Lucario. I'm pretty sure Mega Blastoise is somewhere in the game. I know Mega Aerodactyl is in the game. I'm not sure what other Megas are in the game. Maybe Mega Gardevoir, but I'm not necessarily sure. I didn't have the chance to get a Gardevoir to see if there was Mega Gardevoir, and I didn't see one in the game anywhere, so I don't really know. But we had Mega Pokemon, permanent Megas, and you can have multiple Megas on your team as well, which is pretty darn broken. But I mean, if you're able to do it in the game, then you're able to do it in the game, so it is what it is. But I always enjoy it when I see Pokemon from a later generation in an earlier generation game. So you know, it was cool seeing Garchomp in, you know, in a Gen 3 game. It was cool seeing a Mega Charizard X in a Gen 3 game. You know, it's absolutely amazing, you know. And so I just always enjoy seeing those Pokemon, especially, you know, like the time it takes to actually put the Pokemon in, because it's like, you can, I mean, it's easy, it's probably easy, you know, taking a sprite from a later game and just putting it into you know, the game. It's like, that's easy, but then you have to edit the move set, you have to edit the base stat total and things like that, and you just have to edit the entire Pokemon, and that might take up a lot of time, especially depending on how many Pokemon you're actually trying to put into the game. Like, I respect that, so I always definitely enjoy it when I see later Pokemon in early generation games. And the last thing I liked about the game was the overworld. I just like, you know, the overworld. And when I say overworld, I mean, you know, your little tiny sprite walking around, and, you know, the trees and the grass, or, well, actually, the trees and the grass I had an issue with, but like the houses and the gyms and, you know, the cities and stuff like that, I definitely enjoyed that. I think there's like a day and night aspect of the game too, which I definitely I didn't really like, you know, sunset, because it was like super duper orange, which I didn't really like. But I do like the fact that there was like daytime and nighttime, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed that. So the overworld was great. I always enjoy looking at the overworlds of the games, because the games just look very, they're visually pleasing, if that makes any sense to you. I just like looking at it. That's really about it. I just like looking at it. So when it comes to this next thing is kind of like in between for me when it comes to likes and dislikes. There's no Victory Road, and it's one of those things where it's like, awesome, there's no Victory Road. I don't have to waste my time going through Victory Road anymore. But then it's like, there's no Victory Road. This is kind of weird, considering every Pokemon game, or most Pokemon games, you know, have Victory Road in them, you know? And it's just like, it's so weird not traveling through Victory Road. But then again, I guess if you want to count Mount Skywall as one big, gigantic, ridiculous Victory Road, then sure. But like, outside of that, there's really no area in the game that is designated as Victory Road. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, there was that, but yeah, I don't know. Also, wait a minute. Another thing I liked about the game was that they introduced other characters, like you saw Silver, you saw Cynthia, you saw who else was there? There was Juan, you know, you saw all these other characters and whatever. It basically had like a world tournament type feel, and I like that about the game as well. Juan being there was kind of weird, but I would have thought we would have had at least maybe Wallace, or, you know, was Steven there? I don't even know if Steven was there, to be honest. Like, should have probably put Steven in the game if he wasn't there. I can't even remember. It's been like a couple days since I played the game, so I have no clue. But it had a world tournament feel to it, and I definitely enjoyed that. So now let's move on to the things I didn't like about the game. And the first thing I didn't like about the game was the level spikes. And it's like, they weren't like super giant level spikes, but they were subtle. And they were subtle, but you can tell that they jumped in levels, because you would be on par for like most of the game, right? And then like next thing you know, boom, you're under level, and you're like, huh? How did that even happen? You know, you're just wondering, how did that happen? And so you grind up, and you keep going through the game, you're on par, and then next thing you know, boom, you're underleveled again. And it's like, how am I underleveled again? Like, I'm gaining all the proper experience, you know, like none of my Pokemon have experience shares on them or anything like that. How is this happening? And it's just because the game just, like, they have like really weird level spikes at the weirdest times, or at the most unfortunate times. Like, you know, surprise rival battles is definitely one of those times that I saw the weird level spikes. You enter a new city, you saw Iron in the city, he'll battle you, he had like a level 36, you had level 31, you're looking like, how did that even work? You know, like, what? You know, so I didn't really like that about the game. But of course, like I said, these were like super small level spikes. Like these are like, yeah, super small level spikes, like compared to something like Dark Rising, you know, for example, where the level spikes is like, you enter a grass and like Pokemon might be like 10 levels higher than you, and you're like, how did that happen? You know, it's not that major or anything like that. It's just really subtle, but you can still tell though. And it definitely does suck when you're not prepared for those battles. So you know, just be on the lookout. If you play the game, just be on the lookout for like the really odd level spikes in the game. Another thing I didn't really like about the game, this goes back to the thing I was saying about the overworld. Like, I like the buildings and everything, but the grass and the trees kind of looked the same to me. Like, the grass looked like grass that I was not able to walk into, and I was always like confused. I was like, oh wait, I can walk in this grass. And it was just kind of like, the grass looked like trees, and it's like there was so much detail in the grass, and it's like, I appreciate it, but like, I don't know, it just, the grass and the trees look similar to me. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but that's just one little thing I didn't really like about the game. Another thing I didn't necessarily like, there's a couple of the Pokemon sprites were like off center, and I don't know, like when it comes to things that are like off center, it just makes me feel weird. It's like a Pokemon sprite is like super high up when it's not supposed to be. Like PETA, for example, PETA sprite was like floating in midair. It's not like it was like actually flying, it was just floating. And I was like, this is kind of weird to me. I don't know if I'm feeling this or not. I don't know if I'm feeling this, but it's only for a couple of the sprites, not all the sprites. But you know, that was just one little thing that like burged. I was gonna say like bugged and irked, but it said burged. So it's one little thing that bugged me about the game. Probably one of the biggest things about the game that I know everybody would probably hate is the bad translation. But I think the ROM hacker, or the creator of the game, their first language wasn't English, and like the game or the text is like a direct translation. Like, I guess, you know, throw it into Google Translate or something like that, I don't know. And so that's why we had like a lot of things misspelled, and you know, it was just like broken English everywhere. But I mean, I could still understand what was being said. It was just one of those things where it's like, as you play the game, you start learning the language, and then so it's like they say something weird and you're just like, oh wait, okay, I know what they're saying. But you know, as far as like the text goes, yeah, the translation was like, it was like not good, but I wouldn't say that it makes the game unplayable. Just one of those things that, you know, just look out for it. Just look out for it once you start playing the game, because it lasts through the entire game. And like I said, you'll just learn you'll learn the text, you know, like throughout the game. You'll learn the language and how they speak. But like, if you're trying to commentate though, just make up your own sentences, because reading it is going to be a pain. It's just going to be a pain. So that's all I got to say about that. Another big thing that kind of like threw me off with the game was the music. Like, if you guys noticed the music in the game, it was like dun, 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 or something like that. It was like the music would hit a really weird note, and I was like, is my game messed up, or is it just me, or does this happen for everyone? And it happens for everyone. So another warning, you know, the music in the game, it's still the same old like Gen 3 music, like from either like Ruby Sapphire Emerald or Fire Red Leaf Green or whatever. But it was like the notes just kind of like, it was off. So just be on the lookout for that as well. Another thing that like I found really odd about the game is that there were points where they wouldn't tell you where to go, and it's like, there was no sense of direction when it came to the game. Like, let's say, okay, when you beat the game, you don't know that you need to go meet Uranium in, what is it, Bright Light City or whatever it is. You don't know that you need to go meet him there. No one tells you that. I know there were like a couple points in the game where I actually had to look up where to go because there was just no one told me where to go. And it's like when you're playing a Pokemon game, you know, usually they tell you where to go, so it's like you're not like just wandering the region. Oh, you know, okay, when you're fighting the Threat 4 in the after game, I think you gotta find that one guy all over the region. They don't tell you anything. You have to get the key. They don't tell you anything about him. They just say check the region, and it's like you're telling me I have to roam the entire region of Tyron to find this one guy. And then not only that, but after you beat him once, he changes locations and you have to find, and you have to find him again. Like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. And they give you no hints, like 0 hints. And they just say, just gotta go find him. And it's just like, how? Like, how? So I had to look up another Let's Play to figure out where the dude was at, and I think that's like really stupid. Like, what? That didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Another thing I didn't necessarily like about the game was how Iron randomly became a gym leader in the middle of the story. Like, he was just like, oh, I got tired of traveling, so I became a gym leader instead. And it's like, huh? There was like 0 build up to that. He just out of nowhere became a gym leader, and I'm just like, huh? That didn't even make any sense. He started out his journey at the same time we did, and he automatically becomes a gym leader like halfway through the game. And I'm just like, huh? Like, that didn't even make any sense. So I don't know, that's just one little thing that irked me though. Another thing I didn't like was gender confusion. They would keep saying he when I was playing the girl character. They would say things like, you know, oh, Reshiram and Kyurem, when it was actually Zekrom and Kyurem. And so that was a little bit backwards, and you know, the character gender was backwards as well. And it was just one of those things where maybe it was just bad translation, I don't know. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh man, he, and it's like, I'm playing the girl character, I'm a she. So, you know, that's one other thing I didn't really like about the game. And the last thing, the final thing I didn't like was the fact that they gave you like a billion rivals. Like, you had Iron, you had Uranium, you had Lily, you had Silk, you battle, we had Ash, you battle was it Sierra, I think, like twice. You battle Lumiere like maybe once or twice. You just battle let's see, Kathia. Well, no, Kathia was a grunt, or she was like an admin of Team Mirage, so that doesn't really count. But like, there were so many rivals in the game. It was like I was playing X and Y, and I'm just like, we only need like 2 rivals, or maybe even 3. I'll take 3, but 2, like 4 or 5, that's just there. I don't know, it just seemed like Luke and Eva, whatever happened to them? We don't even, I think I guess they just settled in the region or somewhere. Man, now that I think about it, wow, they never, I don't know if they ever got home or not. Rip them, I'm sorry, but yeah, there was just so many rivals and so many important trainers, you know, that like traveled the region with you. And it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things where it's just like, sigh, gotta battle them again. So that's the last thing I just didn't really like about the game. So overall, even though there was a lot of things I didn't like about the game, a lot of the stuff that I didn't like was just super duper minor details. It was like super duper small, something that was just like, it's just me being nitpicky. But overall, I enjoyed the game. The game was pretty nice, you know, like the game was fun to play. You know, at times I was just like, but other times, you know, the game was just super duper enjoyable, and I definitely enjoyed it. I would recommend it to people to play. I would just give them that warning where it's like, warning, broken English, that's all, you know. But other than that, yeah, the game, I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend it to people. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Have you played it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you gonna play the game? And yeah, leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and I will go ahead and get up out of here. So that's gonna go ahead and do it for the review, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the announcement for our new Let's Play here on the channel. But yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.